Hey guys, it's Toby, and we're going to be building a gaming PC for £600. Let's go! Alright, first of all we're going to be using the AMD FX 6300. This is a 6-core processor clocked at 3.5 GHz. Now, this is arguably one of the best processors in the world right now in terms of price to performance. You get a lot of value for your money here. If you're ever doing anything that's CPU intensive, such as video editing or rendering, or if you're playing a CPU intensive game such as Metro Last Light or something like that, it will perform really well because it's got 6 cores compared to a usual quad core processor. And as well as this, it's clocked at 3.5 GHz and you can easily overclock it to 4.1 right out of the box with the turbo boost in the BIOS. And yeah, overall it's just a really good processor and it's really worth the money. Moving on to the motherboard, we're going to be using an Asus M5A97R 2.0 motherboard. This is a great motherboard, it's really good value, it's got everything that you need. It's got a dozen USB 2.0 ports, it's got 4 USB 3.0 ports including support for onboard headers in the case. It's got 2 PCI X16 slots, which means you can support Crossfire or SLI with your graphics cards. The PCI 2.0 slots, because AM3 Plus currently doesn't support 3.0, but that doesn't really make a difference when you're using any graphics cards. And yeah, it's got everything else that you expect. 6 out of 3.0 ports, which means you're going to get really fast 6 gigabits a second data transfer rates on your hard drives and internal storage. It supports 7.1 surround sound as well as 32 gigs of DDR3 RAM. And speaking of the RAM, we're going to be using Kingston HyperX Beast. We're going to be using 8 gigs of it, and it's going to be clocked at 1600 MHz, but you can easily overclock it to say 1866 or 2133 without any problem at all because the motherboard supports this, and the RAM is actually capable of doing this because of the heat spreaders. It's got a CAS latency of 9, which means it will run really quickly, and yeah, you can't really go wrong with Kingston HyperX Beast. Moving on to the graphics cards, we're going to be using an Asus GTX 770. This is one of the best cards in the world right now, second to probably the GTX 780 and the R9 290X. But other than that, this is arguably one of the best cards you can buy in terms of the money and in terms of performance. It's going to give you great performance in everything that you throw at it. You can play Battlefield 4 Ultra 1080p, 1440p at 60 FPS without a problem at all. Minecraft, DayZ, Rust, anything that you throw at it, even Skyrim with a whole lot of modern texture packs, you can actually run that really well on this and get a really good frame rate. It's got DVI, HDMI, everything that you'll expect. It's also got shadow play, which means you can actually record your gameplay while you're playing. Everything will be done on the GPU, which means you can get smooth gameplay without any problems at all. And you can live stream to Twitch as well. An alternative to the GTX 770 is the AMD R9 280X. The one we have here is also from Asus, and to be honest, it's really hard to find. If you can get one, that's great. It's got 3 gigs of GDDR5 compared to the 2 gigs of the 770, but other than that, it's going to give you more or less the same kind of performance. The extra gig of RAM will allow you to play games like Skyrim and Minecraft with a little bit more texture packs and more mods because it can support that with the extra gig of VRAM. But other than that, the performance will be exactly the same and it's got the same kind of connectivity. Coming onto the hard drive, we're going to be using a 1TB Western Digital Caviar Blue. This is more than enough for our games, our music, our videos, etc. Whatever you want to put on this hard drive, it will be enough. If you ever need more storage, you can also buy a 2TB version of this or a 500GB version of this if you need less storage. If you happen to have a hard drive laying around from one of your previous builds or from another machine, you can get an SSD instead. The one we have here is from Kingston, it's 120 gigs. Yeah, it's going to give you great transfer rates on your data, so if you're opening a large file, it will open really quickly. And if you're saving something that's really large, like a video or something like that, it will save really quickly as well because of the read and write speeds on an SSD. As well as this, if you put your operating system on this, it will open really quickly and it will close out really quickly. Coming onto the power supply, we have a Corsair CXM600. This is a 600 watt power supply, and as well as this, it's also modular. Modular means that you only have to use the specific cables that you need, and you won't have any others lying around that aren't going to be connected to anything on your components. This is great as it allows for better cable management. And yeah, overall 600 watts is more than enough for the build, and if you're planning on upgrading in the future, it'll be more than enough to support whatever you throw in. Also, it's 80+ bronze certified, which means you're going to get clean and efficient power. And finally, coming on the cases, we have a Bitfenix Shinobi MIDI Tower case. This is a really nicely designed case from Bitfenix. It's designed in the same manner as their Prodigy and Colossus from the Mini ITX range, and what this means is that you're going to get that really nice soft touch plastic. Despite the fact that it's a fingerprint magnet, it looks really nice and it feels really good. As well as this, you also have USB 3.0 ports on the top, as you can see here, which means you can utilize the front panel header on the motherboard. And yeah, overall it's just a really nice case. It's ATX form factor, which means it will support our motherboard, and it's got good airflow. It will support up to 3 or 4 graphics cards without a problem at all, so you can easily add more in the future. And yeah, an alternative will be the Thermaltake Commander USB 3.0 Snow Edition. Compared to the Bit Phoenix Shinobi, which is more elegant and sleek, the Thermaltake Commander is more jagged and rough, but it looks really nicer because of the white design and also because of the window. The Bit Phoenix Shinobi does not have a window, but the window in the Thermaltake Commander means you can easily see it inside, so you can put like LED fans or like some LED cooling units in the future and it will look really nice. But overall it will perform just as well as the Bit Phoenix Shinobi, and it's really down to personal preference. And yeah, that's it guys, thanks for listening. Leave us a like if you like this video, leave us some feedback down below in the comments, or ask any questions if you need to. I respond to all of the comments, so please don't hesitate. And yeah, if you're planning on buying any or all of the components we mentioned in the video, please use our links in the description as it really helps us grow. And yeah, don't forget to subscribe and we'll catch you next time.